There's a story older than the Bible, older than Greek mythology. It talks about gods, friendship, death, and a great flood. And it was written nearly 4,000 years ago. It is the oldest surviving epic story in human history. And what makes it surprising is this. It is not really about victory. It is about a man who is afraid to die. Today, we're breaking down the Epic of Gilgamesh, the oldest known epic story ever written. And despite its age, it feels strangely familiar. Because at its core, it is about being human. Who was Gilgamesh? Gilgamesh was not just a myth. He was a real historical king of the city of Uruk in ancient Mesopotamia. He likely ruled around 2700 BCE. Clay tablets list him among real rulers, not just legendary figures. His name appears in king lists. That blurs the line between history and myth. In the story, however, he is more than human. Gilgamesh is described as 2/3 god and 1/3 human. This divine heritage explains his strength. It also explains his arrogance. He believes the rules do not apply to him. And early on, no one can prove him wrong. He is incredibly strong, fast, confident, and also deeply arrogant. At the beginning of the story, Gilgamesh is not a hero. He abuses his power. He ignores the suffering of his people. He takes what he wants because no one can stop him. His strength becomes a burden to the city, not a blessing. Leadership turns into domination, and fear replaces respect. The citizens of Uruk pray to the gods for help, and the gods listen, not to destroy Gilgamesh, but to balance him. The creation of Enkidu. To challenge Gilgamesh, the gods create Enkidu. Enkidu is his opposite. He lives in the wild. He runs with animals. He drinks from rivers. He sleeps on the ground. He knows no hierarchy, no ownership, no ambition. He has no knowledge of cities, laws, or kings. Enkidu represents nature, instinct, and innocence. Where Gilgamesh is civilization taken too far, Enkidu is nature untouched. Together, they represent two extremes: power without restraint, freedom without structure. Neither is complete on its own. Eventually, Enkidu is introduced to human society. He learns language. He eats human food. He wears clothes. With each step, he loses something. But he also gains awareness. Connection replaces isolation. And knowledge replaces innocence. And in doing so, he changes forever. When Enkidu reaches Uruk, he confronts Gilgamesh. The two fight, not as enemies, but as equals. It is strength meeting strength. Neither can dominate the other. And for the first time, Gilgamesh is challenged. Truly challenged. And after the battle, something unexpected happens. They become friends. For the first time, Gilgamesh is no longer alone. Heroic quests and the gods. Together, Gilgamesh and Enkidu seek glory. They want their names to last forever. They believe fame is a kind of immortality. If people remember you, a part of you survives. That is their logic, and it drives their choices. Their first great challenge is Humbaba. Humbaba is a monstrous guardian of the cedar forest. The forest is sacred, protected by the gods. It represents divine boundaries. Places humans are not meant to conquer. Crossing it is an act of defiance, not bravery. Despite warnings, they kill Humbaba. This act brings them fame, and also divine anger. Victory comes at a cost. The gods take notice. Balance is disturbed, and consequences begin forming. Later, the goddess Ishtar proposes to Gilgamesh. He rejects her. Insultingly, he mocks her past lovers, questions her loyalty, and embarrasses her publicly. A dangerous mistake. In response, Ishtar sends the bull of heaven to punish him. Gilgamesh and Enkidu kill it as well. At this point, the gods decide something must be done. The balance has been broken, and someone must pay. Death of Enkidu. The gods choose Enkidu to die, not Gilgamesh. The punishment is deliberate, cruel in its precision. They take what Gilgamesh loves most, not what he fears yet. Enkidu becomes sick. He weakens slowly. He knows what is happening. There is no sudden end, only waiting, only decline, only awareness. He curses his fate. He curses the gods. He curses the moment he entered human life. He regrets leaving the wild, regrets friendship, regrets civilization. Pain rewrites his memories. Gilgamesh watches his friend fade away, and he is powerless. For the first time, strength means nothing. Titles mean nothing. Divinity means nothing. Death ignores all of it. When Enkidu dies, Gilgamesh is destroyed. He mourns openly. He refuses to leave the body. He speaks to Enkidu as if he might answer. This is the moment everything changes. For the first time, Gilgamesh understands death, not as an idea, but as something real, something unavoidable, and he becomes terrified. The search for immortality. Gilgamesh cannot accept Enkidu's death. If his friend can die, then so can he. That realization consumes him. It follows him everywhere. Sleep offers no escape. Fear becomes constant. So he leaves his kingdom behind. He begins a long and dangerous journey. This is not a heroic quest. It is a desperate one, driven by panic, not curiosity. His goal is Utnapishtim, the only human ever granted eternal life. Along the way, Gilgamesh faces exhaustion, fear, and failure. He is warned repeatedly to turn back. He is told that immortality is not meant for humans. Every warning is ignored. Every boundary is crossed. Fear pushes him forward. Reason falls behind. But he continues. When he finally reaches Utnapishtim, he asks the question that drives the entire story. How do I avoid death? Utnapishtim answers with a story. A story about a great flood. The gods once decided to wipe out humanity. But Utnapishtim was warned. He built a massive boat, saved animals, saved his family. After the flood, the gods granted him eternal life. The similarities to Noah's Ark are striking. But the message is different. Immortality was a one-time exception, not a reward to be repeated. Why Gilgamesh fails? Utnapishtim still gives Gilgamesh a chance, a test. If Gilgamesh can stay awake for several days, he may prove worthy. The test is simple, almost insulting, but symbolic. Self-control over fear. Gilgamesh fails almost immediately. Sleep takes him. His body betrays him. His mind shuts down. Human limits assert themselves. There is no fighting it. Later, Utnapishtim reveals a plant that can restore youth. Gilgamesh finds it. For a moment, it seems like success. Hope returns. The fear loosens its grip. Victory feels close. Too close. But while he rests, a snake steals the plant. The snake sheds its skin. Renewed. Gilgamesh is left with nothing. No immortality. No reward. No victory. Only understanding. The real meaning of the story. Gilgamesh returns to Uruk. He does not return triumphant. He returns changed. There is no celebration. No reward. No conquest. Only reflection. He looks at the city walls, at what humans can build, what they can leave behind. The walls endure. People do not. This contrast matters now. It did not before. Gilgamesh never becomes immortal, but he learns something more important. Life is temporary. Meaning does not come from living forever. It comes from friendship, from responsibility, from legacy, from what we protect and what we pass on, not what we escape. The story ends where it began, in the city of Uruk. But Gilgamesh is no longer the same man. The Epic of Gilgamesh is not about winning. It is about accepting limits. Humanity's oldest story is about the fear of death and learning how to live anyway.